Good evening, class, and sorry for my slightly later discussion post. On Tuesday, I had to go to the hospital thinking I was in labor, but it turns out that I just have the flu. So I get to make my discussion post this week at least without being in the hospital, and I get to try to finish getting my room set up before she gets here. But also, jumping into this week's discussion post, so going off the first chapter, the way that I would describe my family life is kind of complex. So my mother and my father met in the Oregon jail system, and my father cheated on my mother when she went out to an AA event, but it was Narcotics Anonymous, NA. An NA event. It was a camp out, and my father cheated on her, and my mother found out about it, and my mother relapsed. And I was left with my father, and about 5 or 6 years later, he entered into a long-term relationship with another woman. It was about 10 years, and she had a son who was autistic and 10 years older than me, and I put up with quite a bit living in that environment. I was abused in almost all the ways imaginable, and I was in therapy also, but I dissociated a lot of the abuse. I separated myself from it until my brain decided that it was ready for me to understand what happened. So yeah, that's a little bit about like my childhood, but now where I'm at, I'm a mom of 2, almost 3. My 2 older boys have the same biological father, and this is my first with this father. But he really stepped up with my second during my pregnancy, actually. So, really appreciate him. And for the second question, the personal characteristic that I think would be most challenging for me is actually listening telologically, because I'm not very good at that in my own life right now, like listening to myself telologically. Like I can understand as I say what I do, like why I did it, but it's the prior thinking, trying to think about it before you take the action. And I think maybe that's why I think I'll struggle with that. Although I might not, because I'm good at like figuring out why I do the things that I do just by having a discussion or just by talking about it. I can realize like, oh, well, I did that for this reason, and I did that for this reason, and this for that reason. And so maybe I will be good at it. I don't know, but I don't think that I will, at least not right away. It's one of those things that I will have to learn, and I think that this is really cool because it said later on in the book we'll learn about this more through reframing, which is something that I have been working on in my own personal life, is reframing the things that I've gone through and recognizing them as things that have shaped me as a whole human and not as a damaged individual, because we're all whole humans. We're not damaged individuals. I mean, even if we are, we're not. So, you know, we got this. And if you listen to this ramble, thank you so much. I appreciate you.